Obvious sign of a fracture is unfollowing that person on social media. It's never good. Klay unfollowed the Warriors, deleted several Warrior-centric posts.
That's more noteworthy to me than the unfollow.
The boats and his captain's hat still up though. The Golden State faithful sat in Draymond worry-free. Take a listen.
I know all of you are probably looking forward to me talking about Klay unfollowing the Warriors and deleting some IG posts or something. I had no idea that happened. I think it's hilarious. Just so y'all know, I laughed when I logged on here and Jackson's like, yo, so what about Klay? I'm like, what? Like, what happened? It's like, oh, he unfollowed the Warriors. I think that's comical. I know you all be wanting like somebody's feelings to be hurt or something. It ain't that. Ain't never going to be that. That's hilarious.
Okay.
I'm not mad. Don't put in the newspaper I'm mad. I'm not mad. In fact, it's very funny. Listen, I think Klay's gone. I think it's pretty obvious Klay's gone. It is a sad. You know what? Maybe Draymond's not sad. I'm sad.
Yeah, sure.
And so Draymond, I understand Draymond feels like it's part of his brand, I think, to never show vulnerability, weakness, anything like that. I get that. As an athlete, it makes a lot of sense. As a media member, I don't think it's the best strategy, but what do I know? I'm
tough
old
as
media.
a friend.
And so
I'm thinking about leaving the Warriors. That's hilarious. I hurt my feelings.
So I'm very curious how Steph deals with all of it, and I'm very curious the ripple effects of this for the Warriors after next season. Because the band's not getting back together, right. And I don't think they're going to all of a sudden be great again. And I also think, if I may just quickly brew one thing about Klay, if I can just show the triple blind reveal.
Wow.
Ooh,
triple blind reveal. Spoiler alert.
They all look like LeBron.
One of these guys. Oh, you mean the silhouettes?
Yeah, the silhouettes are clearly LeBron.
I don't think they are, actually, but it doesn't matter. Maybe they are. Who knows?
Yeah.
But just
tell me in my ear.
So one of these people is Klay Thompson this year. So reveal it, please. These are all Klay Thompson, and it's the year they won the title.
Oh, they're all.
When they won the playoff run when they won the title, and then this year. The point I'm making is this: he's not that different than he was when they won their last title. Their last title. He slipped a bit offensively and more than a bit defensively. The big difference for the Warriors, in my opinion, between when they won the title and now is twofold. One is Steph, oddly, post-All-Star break, wasn't Steph. Mm-hmm. And Draymond is totally unreliable and in and out of the lineup and lost
there's
some.
Another reason.
What?
Wiggins?
And sure. And Wiggins, all of it, right? And so removing Klay doesn't fix things. It's a bookkeeping decision. But it's not like he was a negative for them on the court. So I think it's bad for the Warriors, and I think it puts Steph's long-term future in a bit of doubt.
Let me first address Draymond. And I understand where he's coming from. Because when I saw Klay unfollow the Warriors, I laughed too. It is hysterical or hilarious because you're a Warrior. Most guys that unfollow, Kyler Murray unfollowing the Cardinals after his third year. Antonio Brown unfollowing the Raiders, who he never even played a game for, right? You weren't really there, so you can effectively be like, I'm done with y'all. We're finished. Mm-hmm. It's like you're erasing the memory of your time there. Klay Thompson can't do that. It is funny. It's like, dude, you're a Warrior. Your whole even if he leaves, and I agree with you, I think he's gone. But to unfollow them just felt like juvenile, because it's like, dude, you're a Warrior. We're not going to erase, and you shouldn't want us to, your career with the Warriors. So in that regard, I understand where Draymond coming from. It is funny. It's like, what? You're not a Warrior anymore? Please. But I do think it's time to move on. Just because when you mention those numbers in 2022, he was under contract. That's the difference. It's like now I have to pay him big money to keep him. Yep. And so I just think financially they need to move on. We saw the Celtics waited too long with Bird and McHale and Parrish. It's time to move on. and go a different direction.
Just before we move on, Brew, if this show ever broke up, would you actually go the other way and follow me? Or would you finally give me a follow?
I probably would follow you. I'm not seeing you.
Yeah, exactly. Keep up with it. That's right.
Head over to the WNBA, second matchup of the season between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Angel Reese with a flagrant foul on Caitlin Clark.
Calling the National Guard.
She ends up making both free throws, and the game continued just like pretty much every other basketball game you've ever seen in your entire life after a flagrant foul. Here's Caitlin in Angel postgame.
What's going through your mind, and how you just stay within yourself to finish the game?
What's going through my mind is I need to make these 2 free throws. That's all I'm thinking about.
It happened. We can't change what happened tonight. We always say you lose by 2 or you lose by 30. Right? They all count the same. But we do need to be better. We're not making any excuses. We need to be better, and we will. We will be better.
Okay, I'm waiting patiently. Game 1, 16. Game 2, 18. Game 3, 31, but 4 for 13 from 3. And then Friday, 15 points, 1 for 4 from 3. Are you surprised Tatum struggled again?
No. Listen, he's not a finals guy until proven otherwise. He's just
fair.
not. This is 10 finals games in his career. How many of those games has he shot above 50%? 0. Only Rip Hamilton, as far as guys who ever made an all-star team, had a longer stretch start his career. Rip was 12 for 12. All 12 of his career finals games didn't break 50%, but also wasn't relied on to be the number 1 offensive option. That was a defensive-minded team.
Ewing shot like 36%.
No, what I'm saying is every individual game he hasn't been above 50%.
He hasn't had 50%.
Right. He hasn't been above 50% once. Jason Tatum, the last 3 years, since he has been in club superstar and since he's been an all-NBA caliber guy, here's what he is. Regular season, that guy's awesome. First 3 rounds of the playoffs, almost as good as the regular season. The finals, he's been bad. We can now expand that worst field goal percentage in the finals to even more attempts, 175. That's who he's on the list with. And so I don't know what else to say. If you go through, I did it today, each game, it's like, was Tatum the best player on his own team in any game? No. Was he the second best player on his own team?
Is that in all 10?
No, I'm in this series.
Yep,
This series. Was he the second best player on his own team in any game? Probably game 3.
Yeah.
But that's it. In game 4, was he better than Sam Hauser? No.
Game 4, no one gets an award.
That's fine. Throw that one out. But games 1 and 2.
You can't count. Yeah, you could say. I would say he was the best in game 4, which doesn't even matter.
Oh, okay, that's all right. That's fine. But then there were 3 Mavericks ahead of him. But game 1, Jalen, Kristaps, and Drew were better.
Yep.
Game 2, Drew and Jalen were better. And so, it just is what it is. In my opinion, he's almost at this point disqualified from Finals MVP.
Wow.
Because in order for him to have more good games than bad games, they have to lose. They have to keep losing.
Yeah.
The thing is this.
That's where I'm at.
It's fair. He clearly battles with nerves. And to me, in the final, number one, he said he was nervous in game 1. All right. You've been to the finals before. You've been to Eastern Conference Finals, 5, 6 times. And you're saying you're nervous. And if you look at, I still contend he's playing a good floor game. He's leading the Celtics in rebounding, leading them in assists. And he's scoring, obviously, averaging 20 a game, but his shooting, that's what it is. And that can be a mental thing. That can be nerves. When you're missing little, I wouldn't say bunnies because they're contested, but when you're missing layups you usually make, that can be nerves. And so he's going to have to deal with this, after they presumably win this finals. He'll be happy. He should be. Like I said last week, don't let anybody get you down if you're not finals MVP. But he's going to have to take a look in the mirror and say, why can't I shoot well in the finals? Now, as far as finals MVP, I don't think he's disqualified.
Oh, you don't think he's disqualified?
No, because nobody's lighting it up. Jaylen Brown had 10 points and 5 turnovers in game 4. So I'm 5 or 6 turnovers. No, Drew Holiday is averaging 14 points and not even 4 assists. and his defense is what he's doing great, but opponents are shooting 58% against him when he's the primary defender. So it's like there's nobody on the Celtics having a phenomenal series. I would say at this moment it is Jaylen Brown.
Yes.
But if Tatum has a great game tonight, or if it goes 6 and he's good tonight and they lose, great in game 6 and they win, he can definitely, he's averaging 28 and 6. 20 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists.
I mean, I know he's averaging 20, but he's...
It don't matter, man.
But
the
kind
field,
of it does.
It's not. Michael Jordan shot 41% in the final, and they won. So who cares?
I know he's averaging 20, but he's got 3 games
under 20.
under 19, and
okay,
131.
But that's 1 point under.
I know,
20.
but still. All right, here's what you talk about.
Because Brown's averaging 20.8. That's my point. Is just.
I mean, that's fair. He took 4 threes, and I was just grinding the all 10, and I'm like, you know what I'm gonna do?
What?
Set aside part of my day and rewatch
all 4 threes.
All 4 threes.
Oh wow!
So me and Josh,
in between your piano
down. So here's the first one: 6 dribble, step back. Obviously a miss. Another one. This is going to be a 4 dribble 3, 4 contested pump. Obviously a miss. Next one is another 4 dribble, step back again, and this one gets blocked. These are all bad shots. Here's the one that he made. If we're going to switch tapes, Al Horford pick. Come around and make it.
It's not a step back.
So no. So it's just basic. I mean, that play
Does he
works.
not shoot? But here's the thing, Wiles. Does he not shoot step back threes like that in the regular season?
Well,
he does.
I know, but those are. But Brew, I could have blindly described those to you and be like, which one do you think went in? If you're struggling, let's have more of the easy shots and less of the oh wow shots.
And can I say something else about the Finals MVP thing? Because Brew's point about the history of it. Isaiah didn't win his first one. Steph didn't win for the first 3.
Tatum ran
3
through
rings.
it all too.
He ran through it. He said,
did he?
yeah, he was like Kobe only won 2 of 5. Duncan
Kareem
didn't
won 2 of 6.
Right, Duncan didn't win all of them.
Right.
Here is the distinguishing factor, however. Isaiah was not bad in those finals when Joe Dumars won. Kobe, his first finals wasn't great. The next 2 rings, he was very good. But Shaq was averaging over the course of that 35 and 15. Mm-hmm. It was when Steph didn't win it and Iguodala won it. Steph actually had better numbers in that series than he had in the regular season when he won MVP. And then the next 2 years, Kevin Durant was just shooting fireballs out of his eyes, so he won it. It wasn't because Steph was terrible.
Yep.
This is a different situation. And it is, I don't want to call it unprecedented because I'd have to go through all 76 finals, but a finals where somebody is clearly going into it, the team's best player, plays really poorly, and they win anyway. Like, maybe there's one that comes to mind for people immediately. There isn't for me. I was thinking about it. Like, you mentioned Jordan. Was the 41% the one against Seattle? Jordan was great in almost every final.
He averaged a ton of points, but I think he shot 41%.
Against Seattle, I think so. And that was because the last 3 games of that series, he struggled from the field. But they started out up 3-0, in part because he was great. And I understand Boston started up 3-0, but it's not because Tatum was great. So it's a very, very weird historical situation where Tatum, I think, has been B-level once this series. Game 3.
I can't say that. He scored 31.
That's
all y'all looking at is the field goal percentage.
No, but that's what I'm talking about.
I'm serious. That's all you're looking at.
That wasn't an A game, though. You weren't like, man,
it was a
Tatum
B+ game.
Okay, that's fine.
You know how hard it is to score 31 in a freaking game?
You're misunderstanding what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, of the 3 games, there was only one time I thought in the 4 games he played B level or above. You want to call it a B, a B+, an A-, whatever. But games 1, game 2, and game 4. Game 4 was an F, you can say, across the board. Game 1 and 2 was a C-ish.
Yeah.
And so that is a weird spot for it to be like, but if he's great tonight, he's finals MVP.
No. What if Jalen struggles tonight? If he struggled in game 4.
Then Drew gets it.
Drew's averaging 14 points a game and giving up 58% shooting.
Well, the giving up 58% shooting
for the series?
When he's the primary defender.
Those numbers can be a little hinky.
Well, you brought up defensive rating. Guess who? Tatum and Brown are tied with defensive rating.
Yes.
Second among starters behind Al Horford.
Yeah, but if
it's better than Drew. I'm just
If it ain't
saying.
ass stocks, I'm
you
not buying
can't-
the defensive
y'all
rating.
Are rip,
But
he
also-
is leading them in rebounding and assists. You're gonna sit here and act like he's playing terrible, and he's second in scoring by 0.8 of a point.
Drew.
I mean, and they're about to win.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I think, were you surprised he played poorly in Game 4?
I throw out Game 4.
No,
How do you
but-
even measure Game 4? They gave up the ghost.
But is
in
that
the
not
first
a little
quarter.
bit on the best player?
It's on everybody.
Yes,
And Jaylen Brown is right there. It's 1A and 1B, and he was worse.
Okay. I mean,
it's not even a question. And Drew Holiday wasn't good either.
No,
Like,
That
what
was,
do we?
that was Drew's like first bad game.
I thought it was first.
Y'all
I
are
agree with you.
tripping as far. And I'm not saying he's playing well. I get the criticism, but to act like he has no chance to be Finals MVP, 28 and 6, leading them in rebounding and assists.